You said something that triggered my memory of two different interviews I saw with artists, and both those artists came from a small town, and they said where they came from, they had very supportive, like a very supportive network. However, it was never okay to try to rise above the group. Because if you did, then they said, oh, you think you're better than us. So can you talk about that? Because I think it's a very real part of people's upbringing, or they have a great support system, but there is an unspoken or maybe spoken thing where, oh, you don't want to act like you're too better than us or smarter than us, or who do you think you are to do this over us, and have just the normal life that we have back here in our small town.
Okay, let me say this. I don't get that, because most of the people that are close to me, that are friends from home or whatever, they know what I've gone through and the struggles I've had. And it's kind of funny that, and I'm being serious, they, if whatever resentment they might have for me, they don't bring it to me, because they know what I've been through. I mean, I literally was on foot for a number of years, where my car, I had old beat up cars and whatnot, because my music lessons, my voice lessons, I would study. I had a teacher before the man I got. She had me come once a week, and I couldn't really sustain what she was teaching me, you know, as far as my vocal training. And when I got with Mr. Harris, he said, let me tell you something, you're going to have to come at least 2 to 3 times a week. He says, because I got to build this voice up. I got to build this whole thing up. So I said, well, wasn't I supposed to be singing from the mask and using my diaphragm? He says, yeah. He said, but it still got to come through your throat. So we got to build that up. He says, and I want you to come and check me out. He's a singer himself, and check some of my people out at this concert we given. And I went, and I was like, wow. So he said, it's not cheap. So you got to make up your mind as far as how much you want to spend and how much you really want to do this. So it became a point where I was catching buses and standing at the bus stops and sub-zero and freezing like this, you know. And my friends and people that were close to me knew this and saw me. And my first fiance, or whatever you want to call her, my teacher lived not far from her. And I was standing at a bus stop in, you know, the bus stall, and I saw her car. It was it was like a Kentucky Fried, she loved chicken. It was a Kentucky Fried Chicken behind where I was at. I'm standing here on the street in the bus stall like this, and there was a Kentucky Fried Chicken behind. And I saw her car. I sat there and saw her car go through the drive-through at the Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it comes out on the side where I am. It goes in this way, and it goes around, right? And it comes out this way on this side of me, and I'm standing here like this, and I literally knew that she and her sister or somebody in the car were like looking at me, and I didn't look over, because it was a point where I was like, okay, this is who I am and this is what I gotta do. And they drove off. That was a hard thing for me to deal with. But I said, okay, you know, this is what I have to deal with. And so people that I said that were close to me, my parents and sisters and good friends, I never got them from them, because they knew, and they still know what I'm going through. So if nothing else, they say, man, wow. I have people that are really impressed with the fact that I've been doing this long, and well, I've been fired a couple of times in this too, but you always go to the next job. But they've been impressed with the fact that I've done this long, and I make a nice living, believe me. And people I run into I haven't seen in years say, wow, you doing that, that's hard, isn't it? I say, well, look at me. Does it look like I lost any meals? They said, yeah, you have put on a little weight. I said, yeah. I said, you don't put on weight from not eating. You put on weight from eating. I said, so I'm doing pretty good. You know, and I don't say this to anybody or any of them, but over the last 10 whatever years, I made more money per year than they've all made. I mean, a lot more. But I don't carry myself like that. And maybe one reason why they don't have a real problem with me is because I don't carry myself pompous or anything. Anybody that sees me that I knew coming up from school or I run into somewhere or whatever, they say, you still the same. I said, yeah, because I'm secure in who I am and I don't have to pretend to be something or I don't have to put on airs because this is just what I do. I said, this is my life. This is my job, okay? This is what I do. So I don't feel it's any more important or any more special than what you do. And I treat people like that. I'm like, oh, I'm happy. My niece wanted to get into this. And she's like, I said, look, just because I'm in this and you like what I'm doing, if this is not for you, do what you do and do you. She's like, really? I said, come on now. You my niece. I love you. You like my little child. Do you. I said, I don't want to see you suffer in this. She got a regular job doing quite well. I'm like, do you. I don't care what you do as long as you do you and you happy doing you. Then you're a success. See, you people say, well, I don't feel successful at what? Why? You doing you. You got a job, you got a house, you got this, you got whatever. You happy in what you do, you look well, you doing well. That's success. It doesn't matter how much money you making. It's what you do that makes you happy and what you are good at doing and you doing it. You know, it's just what it is. You have to be you. I keep stressing that over and over. You have to do you. You can't be something that somebody else wants you to be. It'll never work. You end up wanting to shoot him or whatever, or jump off the damn top of the building or something. I had a friend do that, by the way. But you gotta be you. And I don't let people trip on me about, the fact that, I'm better, because I don't come off like that. I don't come off like that with anybody. I give people advice on the business. I help people. I'm not gonna give them $1,000. I mean, now I've given money to my family much more than that because that's my family. I've given some friends, stuff like that. But just not a random woman that, got on a nice outfit and got on high heels and, look good. I'm like, come on. I mean, I've been with good looking women my whole life. I've always, even when I was 5, in the 1st grade, I thought I was suave and debonair when I had my lunch pail with Roy Rogers, sitting on it. I'm like, yeah, that's the Roy Rogers lunch pail, I mean, I've always been with beautiful women, That's just me, And I'm not so beautiful, But it's like, it's just the way it is, So I don't let that stuff get to me,